Have you ever wondered what happens when we die? Today I'm going to share an extraordinary story that might just change the way you think about life, death, and everything in between. This isn't my story, but it's one that I believe needs to be heard. It's the story of Sarah Thompson, a woman who experienced something beyond our normal understanding of reality. On a seemingly ordinary Sunday morning in May 2020, Sarah's life took an unexpected turn. She woke up feeling a bit dizzy, but didn't think much of it. As she made her way to the bathroom, something incredible happened, something that defies our conventional understanding of physics and consciousness. Sarah said it like this: one moment she was reaching for the bathroom door handle, the next she found herself passing through the solid wood as if it were nothing but air. Can you imagine that? In an instant, Sarah realized she was no longer in her physical body. Now, you might think this would be terrifying, but Sarah said she felt surprisingly calm. She felt lighter, freer than she'd ever felt before. That is, until she started to descend. Sarah said she felt like she was being pulled downward by an invisible force. She passed through her bed, through the floor, through the very earth itself. As someone raised in a religious household, her first panicked thought was, "Oh no, I'm going the wrong way." The more she panicked, the faster she fell. But then something remarkable happened. In the midst of her terror, a single thought crossed her mind. How is this even possible? And just like that, everything stopped. Sarah found herself in what she described as a void, complete darkness, no sound, no light, nothing. But here's the surprising part: she wasn't afraid anymore. She was filled with an overwhelming sense of curiosity. How could she still be herself outside of her body? What happened next, Sarah said, is almost impossible to put into words, but I'll do my best to convey it as she described it. Imagine the most vivid, colorful nature scene you've ever witnessed. Now multiply that by 1,000,000. That's where Sarah found herself next. But it wasn't just what she saw, it was what she felt. Sarah said that everything, the grass, the trees, the very air around her, radiated love, but not just any kind of love. It was a love beyond anything we experience here on Earth. It wasn't just a feeling, it was a knowing, a certainty that permeated every fiber of her being. In this place, Sarah said, fear didn't exist. Negative thoughts weren't just discouraged, they were impossible. It was pure, unadulterated love and acceptance. Can you imagine a world like that? Where you're loved unconditionally, not just by others, but by the very universe itself. But Sarah's journey was far from over. She was about to learn some profound truths about life, death, and the nature of reality itself. After that, she saw 3 past lives. In the first, she was an older woman who had a heart attack and died. In the second, she was a man who died while having open heart surgery. In the third, she was a young woman who poisoned herself and died. Why am I being shown this? She asked. The answer was clear: to know how important it is to love, not just say it, but show it in everything we do. She thought she was giving, but it was clear that she wasn't. Soon after, she was taken to a different place where 8 lights watched a screen that showed her in a very painful moment from this life. Who will teach her this? They asked. One of the lights moved forward. The soul of her husband or wife from this life agreed to help her learn through love and pain. She felt lighter after realizing that she wasn't even aware she was holding that weight. After that, she was slammed back into her body and was in a lot of pain. As soon as she got to help, she forgot everything and woke up in the hospital. The doctors told her that an ovarian cyst had burst and she was bleeding inside. Because of the risk of infection during the pandemic, they didn't think she would make it through the surgery. She did make it, though. And that experience made her question everything, including what she believed and how she thought about death and life. She understood that she had to change in order to really show love in everything she did. One night, a guide appeared and showed Sarah 3 of her past lives. In one, she was an elderly Caucasian woman who died of a heart attack. In another, she was an Asian man who didn't survive open heart surgery. And in the third, she was a young woman who died from poison. When Sarah asked why she was being shown these lives, the answer was simple yet profound: to understand the importance of love. Not just saying I love you, but being love in everything you do, everything you say, everything you are. Sarah thought she was a loving person in her current life, but she was about to get a harsh reality check. Her guide took her to another scene where she saw 8 balls of light gathered around what looked like a projection screen. On that screen was Sarah in her current life, crying on a bathroom floor. It was a painful memory. Sarah and her husband had been trying to conceive, but they couldn't. Then he got another woman pregnant. Sarah was devastated, heartbroken. But as she watched this scene unfold, she heard herself say something unexpected. Thank you for this pain. Why would she thank the universe for such suffering? Because she thought she deserved it. She thought it was her karma. But what happened next blew her mind. The lights, which Sarah understood to be souls, discussed who would take on the role of her husband in this lifetime. One stepped forward and said, I will do this for you. And in that moment, Sarah felt the purest, most selfless love imaginable. This soul loved her so much that it was willing to cause her pain. Pain it knew would help her grow and learn. In that instant, Sarah told me, a weight she didn't even know she was carrying lifted from her. All the resentment, the hurt, the self-blame, it all melted away in the face of this cosmic love. Sarah first learned how important it is to be aware and in the present moment. A lot of the time we worry about the future or feel bad about the past while going about our daily lives. Being mindful or living in the present moment can help us enjoy life more and feel less stressed. It means taking a moment every day to breathe and pay attention to our thoughts and the world around us. Sarah started meditating every day. She found that meditating every day, even for just a few minutes, helped her keep the peace she felt when she was close to dying. Meditation can help you think more clearly, feel less anxious, and be emotionally healthy. You can find a lot of guided meditations online, so picking one that works for you is a good place to start. Focusing on your breath for just 5 minutes a day at first, and as you get used to the practice, slowly add more time to it. And then just like that, Sarah was slammed back into her body. The pain was excruciating. It turned out she had a ruptured ovarian cyst and was bleeding internally. Her blood pH was dangerously low. The doctors weren't sure she'd survive, but Sarah did survive, and that near-death experience changed everything for her. It made her question her beliefs, her understanding of the universe, even her own identity. Sarah tested herself in ways she's not proud of. She tried to use substances again, thinking maybe it was all just a hallucination, but the desire was gone. That part of her had been wiped clean. She questioned the existence of Jesus Christ, having been raised Christian but not encountering him in her experience. And then, in another mind-bending moment, he appeared to her in a vision of pure light, simply saying, I exist. The warmth and love that filled her in that moment, Sarah says, was indescribable. Sarah also learned how important it is to be thankful. Every day, she wrote down 3 things she was thankful for in a gratitude notebook. This simple habit helped her stop focusing on what her life was missing and start noticing all the good things she already had. Studies have shown that being grateful can make you happier, healthier, and more well-rounded in general. So what does Sarah's story mean for us? Why am I sharing it with you? Because I believe we all need to hear this message. Love is everything. It's the fabric of the universe. It's who we are at our core. We get so caught up in our daily lives, our struggles, our petty disagreements. We forget the bigger picture. We forget that at the end of the day, at the end of this life, all that matters is how much we loved. Sarah isn't special. She's just someone who was given a glimpse behind the curtain of reality, and she feels compelled to share what she learned. Because if we all understood the true nature of love and our existence, imagine how different our world could be. Sarah also changed how she dealt with relationships. She understood that having deep relationships with other people is important for our health. She tried to keep her relationships healthy by being more present, really listening, and regularly showing love and respect. This made her relationships with people she cared about stronger and brought her more happiness. So I challenge you. How can you embody love more fully in your life? How can you see past the illusions of separation and remember our fundamental oneness? It's not always easy, but I promise you, it's worth it. If Sarah's story resonated with you, please give this video a like and subscribe to hear more incredible stories. And in the comments, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you had a similar experience? How do you think understanding the true nature of love could change our world? Remember, we're all on this journey together. And in the end, love is all there is. Thank you for listening to Sarah's extraordinary story.